Therapists, let's be real, you're probably leaving money on the table, and not because you don't care, but because no one taught you to think like a business owner. Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shan. I'm a licensed mental health therapist and private practice owner. If you're new here, come on in, come on in. Thank you for joining us. Please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy the information that I'll be giving away in today's video. In today's video, we're going to talk about money leaks in your private practice that we don't focus on or we don't pay much attention to. This can be also beneficial if you're thinking about starting a private practice and you're in that journey of the initial building phase, and things to watch out for as you're building your private practice, as you're building your caseload and your schedule. So the first famous one when it comes to leaving money on the table is, as therapists, we never raise our rates. And I want to ask you, and I want you to be honest, and I want you to drop a comment if you're comfortable, but when was the last time you went through and you raised your rates? When was the last time you went back to insurance companies and you negotiated your rates to have a rate increase? I encourage you every single year to negotiate with insurance companies, because normally within that year, within your contract with insurance companies, you can go back and negotiate your rates and ask for a higher rate for your 60-minute sessions, your 45 minutes, your 30s, or whatever other codes you are using. And the easiest place to start is with your own rates. At the beginning of each year, as we do all of our New Year things, I just want you to add to your list of business resolutions is, I want to go in and reevaluate my rates. If you believe that your rates are fair and there's no need for an increase, then leave it alone. But if you think that it is a need for an increase, I want you to go in and figure out what other people are charging in your area and if you can raise the rates. Now, no matter if it's a need or if it's not a need, you are still evaluating your business and seeing where it's at and seeing if it's any wiggle room for growth. And that leads me to my next one. Charging the same rates, although you may have a specific niche, you may be trained in something specific, and it's different from your peers. Sometimes we're on different levels when it comes to our trainings and our expertise, and I really believe that you should be charging based off of that niche or that specific thing you may be focusing on in your private practice. We can leave a lot of money on the table right there. And I do want to add a side note, because I know I'm going to get some comments, like I always do, about rates and how some people think it's unethical to have higher rates. Now, I'm not telling you to go out here and charge $400 per session, but I do think that you should charge your value and based off of your expertise and your experience. That's what gets a lot of us stuck in this field, because insurance, they don't care about you. They don't even care about their customers, the people that are on the insurance plan. That's the main person you should be negotiating with. That is the main contract you should be going back and forth with to raise the rates. Who is it hurting? It's not hurting your clients, nor is it hurting you. It's hurting the insurance companies, the big names, right, who doesn't necessarily mind either way if they gave you a rate increase or if they didn't give you a rate increase. It doesn't hurt them much. So I want to take off the table of not charging your worth. If you're self-pay, you're probably already in a mindset of knowing you deserve more because you're completely self-pay. I'm not saying one way is right and one way is wrong. I'm just saying go with what's right for your practice and your lifestyle and your needs, essentially. People are going to argue with you all day. People are going to think some things are ethical, some things are unethical. But I always say, show me where it's unethical. We get trapped in this space where we feel like we can't expand outside of what we are taught in grad school because it's unethical. And that just drives me crazy, but I can go into a whole separate video on that, because that will forever keep us stuck as therapists. And I am trying to shift myself out of that mindset, and my content and my channel really focuses on getting out of that mindset and getting on a business mindset, but also having that helping profession under our belt as well. because we are still in a helping profession, but we are running a business at the end of the day as well. Mental health professionals, give me a second. Burnout just doesn't happen from client overload. It also happens from the behind the scenes work that we're putting in, the never ending resource hunt, prepping for sessions, finding client worksheets. But don't worry, that's why I created a therapist membership, low cost, that's only $9.99 a month. It gives you access to 40 plus mental health workbooks. That's over 2,000 mental health worksheets. It's like having a library in your back pocket. If you're ready to take back your time and stop having to figure out client homework, group session work, what to do in your one-to-one sessions, come join us over in the community. Link is in the description. And my next point of where we're leaving money on the table is not using sliding scales efficiently. So we are giving discounts left and right. Like, for example, I give pro bono sessions and I do sliding scales, but I don't do that for every single client that I see. I do it based off of need and based off of the sustainability of my practice. Because if my practice is not sustainable, I can't provide any pro bono sessions. I can't provide any sliding scale fees. So being able to walk in with a business mindset, here is where I can flex a little, and if that's a certain number of sessions, and then these are the sessions where I cannot flex. Because if you walk in and you're giving everyone a discount, you're essentially running your practice like a charity, and it's not going to be sustainable long term at all. That's how businesses fail. And specifically, that's how our businesses fail. If you're consistently full and overwhelmed, your rates may be the first red flag that you need to evaluate to see, well, what can I increase or what can I change within my practice? The next thing we're going to go into is insurance traps and no-show policies. Accepting every insurance company. If I can go to every therapist when they're getting started, because I fell in this trap as well. And I'm glad I stopped myself before I got too deep. If I can go to every therapist who is starting their private practice and say, if you're questioning that rate from insurance companies, do not take it. For example, who was it? I'm not going to throw any insurance names out there. I'll take that back. But there was an insurance company who offered me, everyone in the state of Ohio, they are notorious for offering very low rates. They continue to do it because we continue to accept it. If people are accepting it, why change? Me personally, I knew I could not sustain off of that very, very low rate. Even my Medicaid pays higher than this rate was coming in. And I take Medicaid because majority of my community has Medicaid. So that is me being able to serve my community. But this specific insurance company was very low. And I said, I can't do it. I don't have to accept every insurance or panel with every insurance. I can apply and see what the rates are and decide if I want to follow through or if I don't want to follow through. And that's okay, because you have this pool of insurance that you take and you can serve that client and that population. And then you have some that you can't take, and there's other people that serve that population or can serve that client. You don't have to accept every insurance, just like you don't have to accept every client or referral that walks through the door, knowing that you can't help them. And that leads me to your late cancellation or no-show policy. Not having a late cancellation or no-show policy, that's a no-no. Everyone's going to cancel. Like, what's the point of upholding the appointment if I can just cancel and I don't have a 24-hour requirement or a 48-hour requirement and not enforcing it? So for the first missed session, I normally say, okay, things happen, you got it. But the next time the session is missed, then my late cancellation fee will apply, and my clients understand. Most of the times, if they don't make a session, they'll say, just charge me, because I enforce this policy. Now, there's exceptions if it's emergency and you go in depth on that. But if you're just waiving your fees for everyone, you are missing out on the income generated to your practice, and they're taking up a time slot for another client that may be in need. This is a business. Enforcing those policies, enforcing those procedures, reviewing those policies with your clients during the first session. During the first one-to-one session, this is the late cancellation or no-show policy do you understand? And the last one, not learning the codes, the billing codes. So not billing for crisis support or additional services within the sessions. You need to go in and research the codes and what they mean and how you can bill. If you're not using a biller, this is an essential tool you need to have, because you are probably leaving a lot of money on the table by not knowing the CPT codes and the ones that you can use and the ones that you can't use. Your work is valuable and it's time to start treating it like it is. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share it with someone that may find it beneficial. We create videos every single week, so make sure you come back next week.